start. I thought it was going to be on automaton, but apparently not. Let's kick this off. We start to the top left side with the green Protoss player representing Jin Air Green Wings. This is sOs. Happy New Year, says sOs. How pleasant of him. sOs seems like a really nice, genuine guy, you know. Happy New Year, he says. It's the top right. Our red Protoss is Zest. As we get this going. Wardy, where did you work before you became a caster? I was a student. So I came straight out of university and went full-time into casting. And here we are to this day. We were living the dream. I sound fine. Oh, thank you guys. There is a little bit of feedback like static in the background when it's very quiet otherwise. It's something that's kind of always been there that I've not been able to... something that's always been there that I can't quite fix. It's not super annoying. I think it's just when there's no other background noise, it's a little bit frustrating. But yeah, there's only so much I can do, really. One of those things. One of those things. Could be worse. The internet could be cutting out. Internet probably, again, just as a pre-warning, guys, if you just joined in today, the internet has been shaky. We've only had it drop once today, but it's very possible it will drop again. So please just be aware if we disappear, the stream goes offline. It's probably just an internet issue that will probably just take 30 to 60 seconds to fix, and we'll probably be back based on what it's been doing lately. So fingers crossed that's what's up if that does happen. So just a pre-warning that it can happen. If you're watching on YouTube, then it's very likely there's a point of this game where I'm like, oh my god, the internet, no! Rah, 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 and all of that sort of stuff. So, yeah, if that happens, that's just the internet being fixed, and we'll get back into the cast when it comes back up and the stream is okay. It's going to be seeing Cybernetic score coming in from each player at the moment. 2 gates apiece. Obviously, we just saw a bunch of PvP games, and we know that this is obviously very standard then. I mean, hell, if this is a hell of a map to play PvP on, PvP can go into that super late game scenario. And if that happens, if we go into that super late game scenario, it is completely possible that it goes super late on stasis. Like, the map really encourages games to go long. Obviously, it's very likely that this ends on one base versus one base as well with PvP, but I think definitely an interesting map to start off. As you do see that probe getting away. The pylon block there from Zest. Just trying to see what comes out next. I like this. I don't think these Zealots are actually intending to finish. Oh, but he will finish the pylon. I think these Zealots are meant to be kind of faking the idea of building something. But he actually wasn't building anything. But then he... yeah, I think he was actually looking to cancel the Zealots and build the Nexus. But obviously then the probe couldn't get down because the pylon finished. So that's then that finish means the Zealots will cancel and 2 more Stalkers will build. And then he will have the money to build the Nexus when the probe comes down to the low ground now, having broken out. What are you going to upload all the TVT matches from yesterday? I will be uploading them to YouTube at some point. Just my YouTube uploads are really, really cramped up right now. Like, and I mean, like, they're really busy. I've got over like 60 videos scheduled for the next 2 or 3 weeks already. So I'm just trying to get caught up in all of that before we then YouTube in the before we upload anything extra. So the uploads are just probably a bit delayed simply because we have too much content, more so than any other reason. So that's the only real reason why. Twilight Council drops down here in the main as we do get this underway. Probe holding that watchtower. Next is dropping down as well. Twilight Council is about to finish up in the main. Gateway coming down, going to be finishing shortly. And we do see there's a couple of Phoenix from Zest starting to move up through the top side. Probe through the south coming along as well to try and see what it can get up to. So it's just trying to pick up some info again. The Stargate from Zest has turned into Phoenix here. The Twilight turned into Blink. We now see a 3rd Gateway added on. So sOs just getting into those Stalkers here early. Both players up on an expansion. Man, Zest has gone double Stargate Phoenix against... Well, did he expect... I mean, it was a Stargate originally from Zest, from sOs. And it was just an Oracle that's been made, but obviously it's a kind of a mind game because Zest saw this building a Phoenix as well. So he thinks it's Phoenix on Phoenix, when in fact it isn't, and he sees that now I think Zest will have to start building Phoenix pretty quickly here because, you know, there's only so much this massive Phoenix can do. I think there's already a good amount of Stalkers to start shooting those down. I think there's 12 Stalker shots to kill a Phoenix. They have 180 health. Stalkers do the 13 damage. So I think it's about 12-ish. Maybe it's a bit more than that. I can't remember. We had this discussion one time when Horston was checking it out with it before we played against Roddy, I think, or something. Anyways, Oracle shows up, and SOS going to start getting rid of a bunch of these workers. 5 probes going down very quickly. 8 workers killed. Wow. Really nice play by the Oracle. It was so frustrating when, especially you build double Stargate Phoenix, the Oracle still gets in and deals damage, right? Oh, what a play as well. He hides it in the main base. The last place you think to look is Zest. Oh, the Oracle's kept alive, and that's annoying because it will come back in and get more probes. Here we go. So it's going to blink in, and oh my god. The blink in just going to grab a bunch of unit kills. The Phoenix are out of position to protect, and, well, shield battery goes down. The Phoenix can start lifting, but the Stalkers now will just one-shot and with ease shut these Phoenix down. Boom, boom, and boom. Man, I mean, nice attempts of lifting on the Phoenix, but it's just too late already. Too much damage already done. Yeah, SOS gets too far ahead. As we have got to the top left-hand side up map here, our green Protoss player. This is SOS. Bottom right, the red Protoss player down a map now. We have Zest and Decisive Esports. Should be pretty good. Should be pretty fun little setup here as we get this going. Gas coming down, getting this going here early on. Waiting for the gates, waiting for the cyber core, waiting for the tech. Rebels coming in, couple of nibbles, nothing too crazy, just taking a moment. And yeah, they're set to rumble. Yeah, 14 Stalker hits to kill, without +1 to kill a Phoenix. And then with +1, I think it comes down to like 12 or so. It was just someone was, I think Horston was counting it because he was playing against someone that was playing Mass Phoenix. He was just like, oh yeah, just need to check how many shots it is, how many Stalkers I'm going to need in my main base once I get +1 to know I can like essentially go like boom boom and get the Phoenix kill. So yeah. Stalker and the Sentry against double Stalker, so Zest may be lining up for a little bit more aggression here. Skipping that Sentry always suggests aggression, I feel, because you kind of care less about seeing what's going on, and you care a lot more about getting across the map with a good amount of fighting units. And as you see that probe going in towards the upper side. Again, that pylon block here, stopping the probe coming down to expand. Looks like it'll be the similar build from SOS until he adds the extra gateway in the back, so SOS may be getting aggressive. A probe here from Zest may suggest a pylon to get aggressive with himself as he chrono boosts that warp gate. Stalkers heading out in towards the upper left-hand side again. 2 Stalkers coming in on either side of this. And that hallucination coming through the top, and I mean SOS trying to figure out what's going on here from Zest, who is just chrono boosting his cybercore, his warp gate. I think really wants to be aggressive here, but he's going to be down a gateway, which instantly puts him into a weird little spot. In the end, he doesn't actually build the pylon on the low grounds. May put it up here while Stalker's going to come in and greet him. So yeah, Zest definitely wants to try and warp in to help out with this. His Stalker count equals so far, but that will drop down. And obviously this pylon will get cancelled. sOs will expand as well, but it's time for him to apply some pressure. His pylon's already up here. You see this hallucination just checking what's going on. Sees a couple of stalkers. Biggest issue, nothing to defend on the low ground. No pylon, no shield battery. And so this could be a cancel on the Nexus, which could put sOs into quite a nice little lead for game number 2. Stalker's thinking about poking up the ramp. Ooh, a lot of units for Zest though. Able to pick up a Stalker right away. Kinda needs that warp in, really. The force field's good as well. sOs gets pushed back. I mean, these Stalkers can maybe dive up into the main and get a probe or two, but 3 Stalkers isn't really the magic set number either. Like 4 Stalkers to one-shot probe. That's a shame. They leave it on 1 HP there. As you can see, oh, the force field on the ramp is going to block the Stalkers in. The recall out is the backup plan from sOs, but oh, that was a little bit messy. Even with +1, it's 13 hits to kill a Phoenix. Oh, man, maybe I'm just misremembering the conversation I had then, Pioneer. Thank you for keeping me on track, though. I just want a big chart. Can someone just make a big Excel chart where you have every unit in the game, and you can select upgrades, and it will just say against every other unit in the game how many hits it takes to kill it? I would actually love that. I would use that all the time, and I would definitely just memorize it. So much better then. It's really difficult to memorize it, like, when you just sort of see them now and again. Those do Stalkers and the sentries just gathering up. Just on the front, hallucinated Oracle is going to take a couple shots. He is going to get pushed back into the main as we do see the hallucination into the main base. sOs, his forge is seen. So that's some good units here. Wants to shade on with the Adepts into the sentries. Hey, what, those Adepts on the sentries getting the kills pretty quick. The Stalkers on Stalkers doing a good job as well. And you pick up those sentries, man. They are big, valuable units. Mortal coming in, that's obviously a big deal. Sentry does not have any energy to help out, though. And so he'll probably lose a sentry on his exit. sOs being chased away. I can't even tell if that was really good for him or not. Resources lost is still pretty even in the game. sOs is up a couple of workers, so maybe more depths coming in here. Stalkers again, thinking about maybe diving through. Gets a few shots off on a Stalker. Has to get out of there, though. Man, he just knows how long he can sit around for. 1 Adept into the main base to get some scouting info. Sees the Robo, sees the Forge. Just confirmations of what the build is here from Zest and what he's going into for the mid-game. Obviously, already knew there was a Robo. He saw an Immortal. You can see now 2 Adepts coming in right-hand side. They are taking quite a bit of damage. And they do get cleaned out as we still see some more Stalkers out in the center. Pylon gets picked off. So Pylon going down as the robotics facility on the way up. So Robo facility coming up right now. Charge coming through here as well. As you see the Wall Prism being boosted out right now. Observer going to unsiege and move forwards just a little bit. Oracle starts to move forwards. Robo facility about to finish. Templar Archives coming up as well. Charge is just over halfway done. The +1 attack on the Forge being thrown over. Twilight Cancel from Zest is on its way up too. So getting that going as the Wall Prism heads in towards the top side of the map. This hallucination from Zest continues in towards the upper left-hand side. And again, Prism with a couple of Immortals. Going to be heading in towards the main base in a moment or two. How many hits for +0, like to kill a +3/+3 kindness ultra? And you know, you laugh at that though, but the thing is, people would actually like to know that. Can you imagine I can be like, in the middle of the game, like, well guys, it's looking tough, but I tell you what, he's got 73 probes, and if those probes can get a full surround on the battle cruisers, they will kill those battle cruisers in about 214 hits. That would be information that would make the chat laugh at the very least, and again, it's probably very over, right? So, I mean, it'd be a really useful kind of set of info if we had like a... I think someone made one once, but I never got access to it, but like just a sheet of like units versus units and how many hits it is to kill each one. It'd be pretty great. Immortal's able to pick up the pylon there as you see Zald's charging in. Another Immortal there, pushing that back. And so that's a little bit of supply block there. Immortal drops done some damage, and Zest will be happy with it. Having the map control as well as the play to take a faster third expansion here. And you see these other units just wandering over. And the Immortal's going to lift back up to go again. Prism dropping down, picking up. A couple more high tempo warping in here. Nexus dropping down, like we mentioned before, is really starting to become a deal here because there is no third base of SOS. And is his plan just to come across the map and to kill his opponent? Has 8 gates against 8 gates. Doesn't really have a unit advantage. 2 Archons apiece. He's down on Immortals. I just don't see. I mean, he has a +2 for the next 30 seconds or something that his opponent doesn't have. But that really is about it. There's not much here. Zest, I think, is far enough ahead to get away with having started that third base. He's brought his Immortals back in that Prism too. And SOS is setting up with 7 more Zealots warping in, but doesn't even have a Warp Prism, so why do you even just warp these in? I don't know. Doesn't even matter. He's going to charge into this right now. The Archons are doing their jobs against the Zealots. They absolutely just splash damage their way through them so easily. And obviously way too many units left over. And again, the +2 is nice from SOS, but now Zest is going to fill. Oh, what is that? Zealots in the main base. That's where the Warp Prism is. Oh my gosh. Well, that was just bad observing by me, guys. I was just so confused as to where the Zealots warped in. I didn't even think to look in the main. Somehow I just didn't see it on the mini-map. Oh my god, the Forge +2 does finish up, but only just denied for a little bit on 0.06 seconds. Well, SOS may do something with his attack in the main at the same time. He will kill the third. Okay, well, not all hope is lost just yet. It's just the fact I didn't see those Zealots initially. Then I saw a Warp Prism starting to build in the production tab too. I was like, well, he's attacking without a Prism, which obviously didn't really make sense. Well, SOS somehow, some way makes it work out. As he kills the third base, he kills probes. 42 workers each, and, well, there you go. Just going to be seeing more Zealots getting set in here from Zest. A couple. Whoa, what is that recall? That's recalling kind of an odd few set of units. Is that a mistake? Is that just going to be SOS pouncing some damage here? This Archon's wandering forwards. That's not obviously grouped with the rest of the army. I guess the recall is good to kind of deal with these Zealots, but I mean, again, it just abandoned units, and these Immortals are taking a lot of damage. I mean, now these Sentries in trouble too. All of these expensive units that just won't do anything. The Zealot warp in comes in. Archons will start kite backwards. Prism will set up to warp in, but the Stalker Fire will be enough to chase it away. Didn't have a warp in ready just yet anyways. Now here come the Zealots. Pulls back until those Zealots are good to go. 3 Archons versus an Archon and 3 Immortals. One of those Archons of SOS super low. He has his own Immortal too. And I think SOS is just going to overpower him here, pushing straight through to the natural. GG from Zest, and SOS goes up to game number 3 as we have to the bottom left hand side. Our green Protoss player. This is SOS. To the top right, we have our red Protoss. Down 0-2. Can he bounce back like Dia tried to earlier? We have Zest. Again, thank you, Sten, hell yeah, for the Twitch Prime sub. Appreciate it. Improve this. We get it set up and ready to go. A couple of assimilators coming down, a couple of gates setting up. All of this looking good at the moment as we're going to be seeing the probe coming across towards the upper right hand side here. They're going to go crossing past each other in a moment or two. Boom! Probe headbutt. Probes pass each other by. Going to be seeing double gateway and a cyber core from each player here as we get this underway. Again, Zest honestly got himself in a good position as in that last game. I felt held off very well. Really limited how much damage was done. And, well, here we are going into a game 3 of Zest 0-2 down. Still SOS just has really great moves so far to keep himself in this. Again, we've got another best of 5 coming up after this, guys. We're going to have the wonderful Zergs, Solar and Sue going to be going up against each other. We're taking another little nibble, and we're going to be seeing again a couple of Adepts on the way out. Stalker and the Sentry on the way as well. What's up, Cheffer84 coming in with the Twitch Prime sub as well. I don't know what it is, but you guys have been so crazy with the Twitch Prime subs the last few days. Super awesome to see. Thank you so much for the love, guys. Really appreciate it. Pushing that sub count up a little bit. It's really, really awesome. Thank you guys, appreciate it. All the love lately has been insane. We had such a successful December. I'm already planning a big event for end of January and onwards. What was the name of the Heartstar song? It was called Rhythm. The Rhythm by Jacob Tilburg. As you do see the Stargate on the way down from Zest in the main. Natural expansion being thrown down. And the depths will be blocked by a shield battery. Actually learned the other day, or was learning, shield batteries obviously have a longer build time than pylons, so it's better to build a shield battery, which costs the same, than a pylon in this wall, because it gives you more time where you can just leave it up there before you have to cancel it and rebuild. So it just means that you can kind of leave it up, and obviously a pylon, for example, would finish a little bit faster. If a pylon finishes that little bit faster, then you might accidentally let it finish, for example, something like that. So yeah, someone in Twitch chat actually taught me that, so shout out to whoever that was. I can't remember. Fetsy with the 499 bits. Thank you so much. Creates a love in the chat for Fetsy in the 499. Had 100 bits earlier. Fresh new subscriber to day 2. Thank you so much. All for the great casting. Well, thank you so much for the great viewing. Appreciate it. 2 Stalkers and 2 Adepts poking their way through this Nexus here on the Naturals. You do see the Stalkers, the Sentry, and the Phoenix in the main base running around a little bit as well. Isolexus comes in with the 1 bit as well to make it around 500. Thank you. 2 Adepts shading up into the main, and they're going to go after a couple of probes. Nope, just going to cancel their shade in there. As again, the Adepts and Stalkers poking their way through the Natural. I mean, a lot of aggression here out of SOS. Just the 2 free gates with the Robo. That Prism as well, of course, is actually... Why has he got a Robo? No Prism? Okay, sorry. I'm just not paying attention. I'm reading chat too much. Apologies. Well, okay. I mean, still nice, though. Gets the cancel on the Nexus. And, uh-oh, Adepts in the main, but there's units here. So should be able to shut that down. There's another Phoenix showing up to kind of make that squad of Phoenix pretty scary. And to stop these units of SOS able to kind of push on in. Blackfish88, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. Get some hype in the chat on that one. And also Mellow Yellow for 2-month free sub. Welcome back for your 2nd month, dude. Twitch Priming it up, and feeling that birthday hype. Thank you so much, guys. Welcome Blackfish. Welcome back, Mellow Yellow. Good to see you guys. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. Appreciate it. Natural expansion coming down, and the Twilight Council will begin to build. For all the pressure that SOS has applied, the advantage he's taken is very minimal at the moment. Depends on how fast Zest will try to expand himself here. Although it doesn't look as though he's expanding at all. 6 Phoenix to maybe try and harass his way back into this. Well, he has 10 Stalkers. So Stalkers should be able to put our damage pretty quickly onto those Phoenix. Already getting the shields off of one. Robo facility building up in the main base. Zest trying to tech out of this as well. Obviously has the probe on the low ground ready to nexus it up too, but we'll be playing on a delay there, and SOS already having a 5-worker lead. Chrono Boost now that blink to help chase those Phoenix down, to shut them down. As you do see those couple of Phoenix again just backing away for a moment. Two depth shade forwards, going to go up the ramp in towards the main, but the pylon block of the shield battery block is good. Depth still not able to find any access there, find any opportunities to deal damage. So that's just patrol on the top side here, looking for opportunities with the Phoenix. No probes on the Natural just yet, though. Stalkers still don't have blink, still keeping very close together. And coming in here now will be a shot to, again, ward those Phoenix away, trying to keep them back at all times. Blink is about to finish up. That hallucination of Zest going to be heading across the map. Again, going to try and keep on scouting. He Observer just sat at the front from SOS. Forge is building down. Hallucination is nice, but I don't feel like it's going to see anything that hasn't been seen before. Stalker's here now. Again, splits them up quite nicely. Just has 8 here to help push those Phoenix away. And SOS coming into this mid-game now with an 11-worker lead. A little bit of a lack of army supply, but obviously has a very good army against what his opponent has, considering those Phoenix will still be very useful in fight, but in terms of harassment, they're really not finding a single opening. Charge gets started, +1 gets started. +1 here from Zest as well, as you see all of these Phoenix coming around the top right side. Going to come flying over. Oh, Observer goes down, so that's something that Zest at least picks up. Extra Gateway Sample Archives coming through. Luke Bomber in the chat says, Wardy, I have a problem. SE2 is a hard game. Well, that's why you should use your pay-to-win mechanic. By subscribing to the Wardy stream, you actually pay for replays, which you can then study and become even better at StarCraft 2. Don't tell everyone, because no one likes to admit StarCraft 2 is pay-to-win. But you can pay for those replays, and with replays from the likes of Maru, SOS, Rogue, and others, you're guaranteed to be running GSL within 16 months. That's the part where there's an asterisk and some small print where you might not actually win GSL in 16 months, but we don't point that out massively. Tickets coming down in the main, as you see a couple of High Templar building the charge as well. All of this very standard in terms of transitioning. Again, these Phoenix just have mass energy because they have nothing else to use their energy on. What are they meant to lift up? They can't get into the mineral lines, they can't find probes. Can't realistically just sit above Stalkers trying to lift them up and fight. As we're going to be seeing a few more gates building. I like this as well. I mean, I like the idea from Zest. He's walling himself off from an attack, but SOS is just expanding. So SOS with a third base, while Zest is kind of like, oh, quick, hide me on my natural. Don't let him get to me. I mean, Zest is playing afraid of a player who is just out-macroing him at the moment, and SOS's early game advantage is beginning to snowball heavily, avalanching into a very quick 3-0 win for him, it seems. Still time for Zest ticking away quickly. And SOS looking to be our third player in the semi-finals of the Masters Coliseum at number 4, this $5,000 event. Brought to you by some of the Chinese casters and community organizers. Sade Phoenix chilling out in the bottom left, just going to see the Stalkers. Oh, I feel like they could get that Phoenix on low HP because it moved away from being stacked as the recall came in. Well, I mean, not too bad of a situation as you do see the Zealots, Stalkers, and the Archons coming up to the higher ground. Again, I mean, no third base, so you don't really need to attack in here as SOS. You can kind of just sit here and be like, well, cool, dude. I'll just wait, you know. Going to leave the Stalkers on the front. I mean, they can pick their way through the gateways, which kind of forces something to happen, right? Phoenix will lift up a couple. Already an Immortal Battery popped, Immortal Shield popped as well. Gateway picked off there. Again, a Sentry chilling out towards the top as well. Stalkers. One Immortal able to pick off the Stalker there. Sentry gets lifted up. Stalkers blinking in. We will see an Immortal going down. Zealots pulling back just a little bit there. Again, extra gateways here from Zest. Still just set up, ready to see what's going to happen. Another couple of Archons starting to morph in. Stalkers will blink forwards and doesn't quite find anything just yet. We'll be able to get one of those Phoenix. Zealots going charging forwards here at the moment as we're going to be seeing so many of them. I mean, at some point Zest has to try and break out here, but SOS says, well, I'll just come in anyways. Archons are doing the job. Again, it was kind of like the Deer parting fight where it's not a pretty fight for Deer, but it was a good enough fight for Deer because he's that far ahead. It's the same story right now. Zealot warping, and that's going to be too much. Zest types out the GG, and SOS takes it down 3-0 in this quarterfinal matchup.